Hi, I'm Jeff, and welcome to another one of my videos. In this video, I'm going to be showing you the third and final interview that I did on camera while at Los Angeles Comic-Con. I had a great time there. It's so amazing how there are these fantastic comic book creators that are just sitting at booths for 3 days straight, and you can go up to them and talk to them. They're right there. They're signing books for free. They're chatting with you while doing commissions, and you watching them work. It was really, really fun for me. So I had to take advantage of them. And I put 3 interviews on camera for all of you. I've already shown you my David Mack interview and my David Nakayama interview. And I'll do my third and final one, which I'll introduce to you in just a moment. But first, I want to tell you about somebody that I talked to off camera. Someone who I'm really, really excited about. Someone who is kind of like, a personal hero of mine might be too much, but this person starred as one of my favorite characters in one of my favorite movies of all time. The actor is Bruce Boxleitner. Now that name might not jump out to you immediately, but I bet you this name will. Tron. He played Tron in the 1980s Disney classic film, Tron. Tron is one of my favorite movies of all time. Now I know that there are a lot of people that are going to be hating on Tron, but it was the first computer animated movie, and I love it. Now, by today's computer generated standards, it's pretty rudimentary. But I love the story, I love the characters, and I love the look. I love Tron so much. And I was just walking around at the end of the convention. The main aisleway had kind of opened up, and there were a lot fewer people, and I saw a sign that said that Bruce Boxleitner was appearing. And I was like, where? And I saw him over behind a table by himself. No one was talking to him. So I went and talked to him. I wanted to ask him some questions about Tron. Frankly, I couldn't get him to stop talking. I probably sat and talked to him for about 25, 30 minutes, and I think we could have kept talking for much, much longer than that. He was so nice. He was so willing to share stories about Tron. I really, really appreciated it. I was geeking out like crazy. So this might not be something that excites you, but boy, oh boy, did it excite me that I was standing there talking with Tron. So that was a lot of fun and really exciting for me, and something that surprised me because I didn't know he was there. I just kind of ran into the fact that he was there. So this is kind of one of the fun and exciting things that can happen at a comic book convention. But let's go ahead and move on to the on-camera interview portion of this video today. I'm about to show you right now my conversation with Tony FLEECS. Tony FLEECS is the writer of Stray Dogs. I thought he was also the artist as well, or an artist, I should say, but he made sure to correct me about that, which you'll see in the interview right now. Okay, now I am here with writer and artist of Stray Dogs, Tony FLEECS.
Hey.
Hello, I pronounced your last name correctly, didn't
FLEECS, yeah, you're the first one to do it correctly.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of pronunciations do you get for your name?
Mostly FLEECS, sometimes FLEX, but yeah, it's FLEECS.
I nailed it.
Yeah, you got it in one.
So as I mentioned, you are the writer and artist of Stray Dogs. This has been a very good year for you and Stray Dogs, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been. I am the writer of Stray Dogs.
Oh, you're not the artist?
The artist is Trish Forstner.
Yes.
But we work together, like we collaborate pretty hard, like we do the covers together and stuff, so I am an artist of Stray Dogs, but the artist, the co-creator of Stray Dogs is Trish Forstner.
Understood. Thank you. Yeah, I was looking, the research I said, so had you listed as both, so wrong. I'll have to correct that.
Can't trust the internet.
So, like, were you a little kind of, I mean, this little indie book blew up.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me what that experience was like for you.
I mean, it's surreal.
Yeah.
Nobody would expect this sort of thing to be like a popular comic book, you know, like.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt you. For those that don't know, would you mind really quickly explaining what the story of Stray Dogs is?
Yeah, Stray Dogs is a story. It's about there's a serial killer who murders people and takes their dogs as trophies. But this story is told from the POV of dogs who don't have great memories, and they just live in a house with this guy, and they don't know what's going on. Like, they just think that this is their master. He's nice to them. He feeds them treats. And so they like him. And then a new dog shows up, and she says, hey, I think something's wrong here. And so it's about, like, what happens when they find out what's really going on.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, I've always been confident about the premise of it and, like, the idea of it, but, like, no, like, reading comics my whole life and going to comic stores my whole life and sort of seeing what blows up, I never would have expected that, like, this book about dogs and serial killers would be like a very popular comic, and sure enough, it's a very popular comic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, it was nice.
And so what is the future of Stray Dogs in comic book form?
So the miniseries is finished. The trade paperback is out now, and we've got 2 final issues coming out at the end of December and at the end of January. And those are, it's called Stray Dogs Dog Days. They're 2 giant-sized issues, and it's anthology style, like an anthology format. 10 short stories, 1 story about each of the dogs from the book. So in the main book, hey, how's it going? In the main book, there's like 10 dogs live in this house, and the story sort of moves super fast, so you're not able to sort of slow down and spend time with each of them. So in this, we sort of gave each of them like their own spotlight, their own moment. It was sort of in the original pitch to Image, we were like, this is what the story is, and if by some miracle it's successful, we'd like to do this follow-up thing where it's just like one last thing where we check in with the characters and sort of show a little more about the characters. But then that's it. Like that's it for Stray Dogs.
Okay. And then, but there's going to be life for it in on the screen, right?
Yeah, fingers crossed. It was optioned before the book even came out, and so we don't really have any news on what's going on with that right now. But you know, I assume at some point it'll be something, or it won't be something, or who knows. But
I hope so. I think it would be great. I'd love to see that.
I would love it too. My mom would love it.
And that's all that really matters.
Yeah, that'd be real good bragging rights for her.
And then one more question for you.
Yes.
Horror movie homages were a big thing with this book, with later prints and people like collecting all these different horror movie homages, which were really, really great.
For a remark?
Yeah.
$30? $30? Yeah. Do you like one?
Please.
Sure.
So I wanted to ask you, what's your favorite horror film?
That's a good question. Halloween, I go back to a lot.
Good choice.
There's like that's an era that I really like Halloween, Exorcist, Suspiria, or sort of like.
Oh my gosh, you're on my wavelength.
Those are like the 3 very different but like same era kind of movies. I mean, I guess they all sort of follow like a young woman and something horrible is happening. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I love those movies a lot. But I will watch literally any horror movie. Something about it, just I can just sort of vibe out and watch horror movies. I really like the Paranormal Activity ones lately.
Okay.
For whatever reason, I was talking to somebody yesterday that was trying to talk shit about like found footage documentary horror movies, and I was like, oh, those things are great. What are you talking about? I mean, not all of them. But,
Not all of them.
Yeah.
All right, Tony, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, man.
Thank
Thank you so much. It was nice talking to you.
Same here.
Well, there you have it. My interview with Tony FLEECS, another super, super nice guy who was so generous with his time. I'm humbled by the fact that these amazing creators, both David Mack, David Nakayama, and Tony FLEECS, were willing to let me record an interview with them for my YouTube page with my 450 40 subscribers. So that was really, really special to me, and I appreciate them so much. As a little bit of a side note, during the interview, you notice that his attention pulled off to somebody who came to ask him a question. And the person was asking him about getting a remark done. And after the interview was done, he did a remark for this guy who had a CGC facilitator witness with him. This guy had already multiple signatures, I think you might be able to see them right here, on this book, but he decided to add a remark to his already graded Signature Series 9.8 copy of Stray Dogs. That blew my mind. That is bravery that I just do not have. I would never have cracked open that 9.8 to get a remark added. In part because I am not particularly a fan of remarks. A lot of times I think that they're just doodles that are really low caliber art, usually added to some really high caliber art already on the cover. But Tony FLEECS's remark on this book, as I was watching him do it, I was like, wow, I can see why you would want to add a remark from him on this book. He does a really, really good job. It's not just some quick pen scribble on there. He was detailing it out, and it looked really, really great. So I get it. Best of luck to the owner of that book, that his book keeps the 9.8 that it had before cracking it open and getting the remark. Well, that's it. There are my 3 interviews from Los Angeles Comic-Con. I had a really great time doing these interviews, and I hope to do more of them for all of you on this channel. If you like this content and you are interested in checking out my other videos, I would invite you to hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell. In addition, if you liked these interviews and if you liked me providing these interviews for you, likes are, of course, appreciated by me. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.